Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something very interesting. In Wings of Fire, there are currently 10 dragon tribes. We've gotten to see the perspectives and stories of many throughout the books. But which dragon of each tribe is my favorite? I'm going to be discussing why I love some of the dragons I do, and picking just one character from each tribe to talk about. Who do you think I'll go with? Stick around to find out. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons as always. DragonLover95, Slightest Wild, Thistle, Noobto, Pyronuke, Avril, and Pancake. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. I'll be going in order of the POV tribes seen through the main series books. Starting off with this is the Mudwings. While we've unfortunately seen very little of this tribe, there's still some amazing content and characters to be found with this dragon type. One Mudwing that has always stood out to me, however, is Mayfly. Clay is indeed a nice second, but Mayfly holds a special place in my heart. I'd do anything to see more of her. Not only was she one of the first and most detailed healer characters we've gotten, but Mayfly also provided a unique look at Mudwings. A lot of these dragons tend to be very similar in the depictions shown by Tui, so Mayfly was a great breath of fresh air. Her only scene is when she first appears, but that's during the scene where the Jade Winglet is taking Kinkajou to Mayfly's hut in possibility for healing. She's just been a Mudwing who has stuck out to me for a long time now, and it was great to see a type of character we haven't gotten before. When it comes to Sea Wings, there are a lot of excellent characters shown to us. When it comes down to just picking one, Turtle came to mind lightning quick. This prince is not only my favorite Sea Wing, but one of my favorite dragons in the entire series. He's relatable to me personally, and was a huge breath of fresh air with his POV and personality. When you think about it, Turtle is unlike any of the other dragons we've seen so far in Wings of Fire. He's been incredibly memorable, and was one of the biggest highlights of escaping peril, and his own novel, Talons of Power. Seeing his friendship form with Peril was so satisfying. There are just so many layers to Turtle, and he's one of my favorite characters for a reason. The Rainwings are yet another tribe with a lot of focus, despite only having one protagonist at the time being. But actually, my favorite of them isn't the POV character at all. I have to give that title to Grandeur, though Mangrove is certainly a close second. There seems to be a trend with my list of favorites from each tribe. Grandeur has such an awesome history to her, and she stood out as being one of the most different Rainwings in the series, even now. Grandeur is unlike the members of a rainforest tribe, which comes with age and experience. She's witnessed firsthand how much they've changed and evolved over time. Grandeur mentions this before one of the royal challenges. I remember when we actually needed our camouflage to protect ourselves from invading dragons. It wasn't a game back then. It was what we had to do to survive. There's just so much that can be done with this old royal, and I'd do anything for a story, even just set in her early days. The Rainwings of the past are so incredibly interesting and mysterious, and it's so awesome to see and hear about that. Grandeur really does take a stand within the Hidden Kingdom, and it was so fantastic to learn more about the Rainwings from her. Plus, she's so tough, and definitely worthy of being one of Glory's advisors. Up next are the Nightwings. This was an incredibly hard tribe to pick just one dragon from. And well, I think I finally found my answer. I'm gonna go with Moonwatcher. Specifically how she is in Moon Rising, as I'm not a big fan of her character after that novel. But man, this mind-reading Nightwing had me falling in love with the second arc from the moment it started. She felt so new, and her perspective was quite refreshing. I went into Arc 2 a bit nervous, worried about how things would change from the previous arc. But Moon, and this book's incredible story and setting, really made me lose all my doubts. It was so amazing to get to see how mind reading worked, especially after we had just thought the Nightwings didn't have powers anymore. Moon was yet another dragon that I found myself relating to many times, and I loved seeing how she faced every challenge. Her story was truly unique, and she has one of the best narratives in Wings of Fire. I couldn't help myself when it comes to choosing her. With the Sandwings, I really wanted to go with Sunny. However, I decided to reserve a special category for hybrids at the end of the video. So in the end, I picked 𝙈𝙤𝙀 as my favorite desert dragon. This is another specific one here, as I enjoyed 𝙈𝙀𝙀 in pretty much all the books but his own, and his Arc 3 appearances. However, he's still a very well-written character regardless. 𝙈𝙀𝙀's humor has definitely stood out to readers, but his courage and well-made flaws are also insanely important and memorable. It was so interesting to see 𝙈𝙀𝙀's response and analyses to situations. His wit and intelligence brought a lot to the table, making 𝙈𝙀𝙀 one of the most beloved dragons in the books. And I can totally see why. He's endearing, but still struggles with his past and some negative traits. When it comes to the Ice Wings, this was one of my most impossible choices to make. In the end, I went with Snowfall and Lynx. I just cannot separate these two. As much as I wanted to include Winter, picking 3 would just be unfair to the other tribes. Snowfall has my absolute favorite character development in Wings of Fire. The Dangerous Gift has always been my highlight of the 3rd arc for me, and I was so surprised what we got. The way the character progression feels natural considering Snowfall's position is just awesome. It was so satisfying seeing everything come together and having this young queen make a choice. All of this was aided by Lynx, who I definitely cannot leave out. Her humor and how she genuinely cared about Snowfall was so refreshing to see. They kinda gave off a Golden Retriever and Black Cat or Sun and Moon dynamic, which I'm a huge sucker for in stories. The friendship is my second favorite in the books, and Pyria was shaped for the better by these two. I love to see it. Up next is the Skywing tribe, which has actually now become one of my favorites. At the very top of my list of this dragon type is Peril, aka my favorite Wings of Fire dragon of all time. I've talked about how much I love her on this channel before, but I truly mean every word of it. She's just been such a highlight to me due to the realism surrounding her behavior and character development. Peril has been through so much, and the stories involving her are always my favorites. She's flawed, but she's trying to be better. We see that when we're finally able to get inside her head and escaping Peril too, and to me, it was just the most expressive and unique point of view of them all. Just the way Peril sees everything due to her experiences is something unlike any other dragon we've gotten. I couldn't love her more, and her story truly amazes me. It's time to move to the Lost Continent, Pantala, which didn't end up being so lost after all. Our first POV is from the Silkwing tribe, and we get introduced to the world from there. But it actually isn't Blue or any one of the other major Silkwings I truly adore, but rather, Tau is my personal favorite. She was a member of the chrysalis that we encounter in Book 11. She's the one with the misshapen wing who helps out our main characters. I truly love the way she dreamed of a better future for her tribe, and her soft, trusting nature was great to see during these hard times in the continent. The forbidden love story with Treehopper just had me hooked, too. A Silkwing and a Hivewing fully together at the time seemed impossible, but these two ended up as another piece of proof that anything can happen with love and faith. Tau's sentiment of wanting to help the Hivewings be better, not hurt them, was exactly what our characters needed. And next up comes the Hivewings themselves. And I gotta say, Bumblebee is my absolute favorite. I know, I can't help it with how cute she is. But seriously, I think Bumblebee is gonna be someone big when she grows up. I have a good feeling about her. Every scene featuring this adorable baby just had me laughing or going, aww. I'm usually kind of annoyed by characters like this, but she just stole my heart with her innocence and young ferocity. I can't wait to see what's next for Bumblebee, and I consider her to be Blue and Cricket's adoptive daughter. Yes, Sundew is the crazy and fun aunt. And last but certainly not least is the Leafwings, Sundew's very tribe. While we haven't gotten to see a ton of dragons from the jungles, Hazel has proven herself to be my forever favorite. I was so interested in her story, and I'd love to see it develop more in future content. She was already grabbing my attention from the moment she was introduced, with the whole plot of Hazel having to take over as queen. I just loved it. The amount of pressure and the circumstances added so much. In general, Hazel is just a dragon I've really cared for since day one due to her nature, creativity, and leadership. And now, it's time to briefly discuss some of the best hybrids. While we've gotten very few in this series so far, Sunny and Whiteout are absolutely amazing. I couldn't even pick between them. Whiteout is by far the most creatively written character in Wings of Fire, and Sunny's entire arc is just absolutely beautiful. I'd love to see more hybrids in later installments of the series. It's just a need at this point. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite dragon from each tribe? And do you agree with some of my favorites? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.